Tetsuya Nomura talks KH4, missing link, and retirement. All right, let's give it a watch.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, sickos and normies? We've got a big update for you all today in regards to Kingdom Hearts 4, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, and the career of Tetsuya Nomura himself. Now, before we continue, major shout out to Audrey Iteki Mochi over on Twitter/X if you're looking for updates about all things.
First of all, I don't know if I'm gonna let it play. I was gonna say something about validity, but I'm gonna let it play.
Things Square Enix. Audrey is a great account to follow, so if you're on Twitter/X, highly recommend following this profile. Now, with that said, we've got an interview with Nomura that's going to be dropping over the next couple of days. I plan on doing an entire podcast about it, but I felt that this snippet deserved its own video because I have what I guess might be a controversial.
The full interview is not out yet. Okay, cool. That's what I thought was happening. I did hear about there being an interview coming soon. I thought this was it. So the full interview is not out yet. So we don't know. Everything here will have more context soon.
Cool. Before we get into that, let's cover the news itself. Now, Nomura says in an interview with Young Jump that he envisions Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link as new titles to the series rather than just sequels. After Kingdom Hearts 3 ended, he wanted to kind of reset the story, so they even hired new writers and changed the logo to make it easier for newcomers to join the series.
I like that a lot. That's one of my biggest hopes for Kingdom Hearts 4 is that we'll see just a straight refresh of the whole thing. Not like I don't need a completely different identity, but I would love to see the story and plot and all those things that came with that first trilogy to just be wrapped up and start something new. And that's kind of what it seems like it's gonna happen with KH4. They've got new writers. I love that. I love that Nomura is not afraid to take that leap to try to see what else we can do as far as story goes. I love the fact that there is some how can I say? Of course, I love the cheesy, I love the super dark, I love the deep, I love the convolutedness. I love that type of stuff. That's fine, but I would like to see a different direction of story, if that makes sense.
Regarding Quadratum, he views it as a fake reality set in reality. In his idea of after Kingdom Hearts 3 ended, he wanted to kind of reset the story, so they even hired new writers and changed the logo to make it easier for newcomers to join the series. Regarding Quadratum, he views it as a fake reality set in reality, in his idea of a fantasy world. Now here comes the spicy part.
Is that not what Versus 13? Was that not the tagline for Versus 13? Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. The theme of Versus 13 was a fantasy based on reality. He really is trying to make this Versus 13 thing happen, man. What does it say? Fake reality set in reality in his idea of a fantasy world? Bro, he's really trying to make this happen, bro. And you know what? I'm for it. Let's see what you can do.
Speaking realistic of a fantasy world. Now here comes the spicy part. Speaking realistically, he sees himself retiring in some few years, and people ask if he'll
okay, I'm gonna let him talk.
Retire first or finish the Kingdom Hearts series first. In the interview, I saw another excerpt. He laughs. That LOL is supposed to be a Nomura laugh. However, Kingdom Hearts 4 is a game made with the intention of heading to that conclusion eventually. So again, there's a lot to unpack here, but let's take it from the top. Obviously, we've discussed this on this channel, that Kingdom Hearts...
Dude, the idea of Nomura retiring, I feel like that's been in conversation a lot more recently. I mean, obviously, it's been 20 years since KH1 came out, and you know, it's been a long journey. He's had a really great career so far with Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy now, and the idea of him retiring and figuring out whether or not Kingdom Hearts is gonna continue without him, or is there gonna be is that gonna be the end of it if he does retire? I don't know, man, but like the day he retires, like bro, it's gonna hurt, bro. It's gonna hurt. But I have a feeling that Nomura probably won't completely leave the game industry. He probably just won't be as involved as he is in now. He might end up being like, I feel like he's probably gonna take more of like a supervision role. He'll probably end up like not writing as much, not directing as much, but more so being like an overall like just overseeing things kind of guy. I just can't see him completely leaving the game industry like that. But who knows?
Hearts 4, in a lot of ways, is sort of acting as a soft reset. It's the launch of a new saga, a new arc, new locations, new characters, a whole bit. Anyway, nothing really new there. As for his comments about fake reality set in reality, again, this is all stuff that those of us who have put this series under a microscope have already figured out for the most part. Although I will say, I do think it's a good idea for them to really market Missing Link and Kingdom Hearts 4 as new entry points for fans. And again, if you enjoy Kingdom Hearts 4,
yeah, I agree.
Those are your first games.
Put myself
there's
over
no
here.
reason that you can't go back and experience the Dark Seeker saga. Now, with that said, let's get to the real juicy and spicy stuff here, and that's Nomura talking about his retirement.
Yeah.
Retiring in some few years. Let's start with that one right there. So look, I see some people freaking out, thinking that this might mean he's going to retire in like 3 years.
KH4 is the end. Like, I mean, you know what, bro? Like, if KH4 ends up being the end, and it's a really good game, like it's like if it hits everything on the head, like if it does everything that we all thought KH3 was gonna do, and KH3, like, don't get me wrong, I like KH3. It's like I still play it to this day. But like, I feel like there were some things that were kind of missing from the experience. So I think, and that's a whole different video in itself. But if it ends up doing the thing, like everything is just tied up in a bow like that, I wouldn't be too mad on that. I wouldn't be too mad about it, honestly.
Fake term. And again, remember, this is being translated over from Japan, so we already have a game of telephone being played here. But
That's
few
true.
years can mean anything from 3 to 5 to 7
10.
to 8. It's a very vague statement, so it's not indicative of anything happening anytime soon. But what it does show you is that Nomura is considering his future in mind.
Right.
Now,
as he should.
Let's move on to the next part. People ask if he'll retire first or finish the Kingdom Hearts series first. I am definitely preferable to the latter. I personally, you guys know how I feel. I've talked about this at great length.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he's got
yet to see an
Landy has talked about this a lot. And that's kind of what I was kind of referencing that to the conversations that have been started about this. Because Landy has talked about this a lot for sure. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to bring up the idea of like passing the torch and all that too.
He lose its creator and visionary and continue to thrive. Just from what I've observed in my I am definitely preferable to the latter. I personally, you guys know how I feel. I've talked about this at great length, but I've yet to see an IP lose its creator and visionary and continue to thrive.
Yeah, that's true.
Just from what I've observed in my lifetime, when an IP loses its creator, loses its visionary, it's not much longer before it gets run into the ground.
Yeah.
Now, before I continue any more on that, let's finish the statement. However, Kingdom Hearts 4 is a game made with the intention of heading to that conclusion.
I mean, you think about like things like like Halo, right? How 343 got a hold of it, and it's just kind of been going down a lot. Not to say that it doesn't still have a fan base or a community, but the conversation of Halo has been a lot different these days than it used to be.
Eventually. So what that signals to me is that this Lost Masters arc, this new saga with the Master of Masters and Foretellers that we're launching, this is designed to be the end of Kingdom Hearts. This is designed to be the end of the story that Nomura is trying to tell. Now, I know that can be an upsetting thing, but for me, I'm actually...
It's not upsetting, really.
To hear this from Nomura.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm actually relieved to hear that he has an ending in mind. He has a conclusion in mind. And at the start of Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link, we are actively moving towards that conclusion.
Yeah.
Again, to me, that's nothing but good news. Because things that continue to go on perpetually without a definitive end, they just deteriorate over time.
Yeah, the quality goes down a lot.
Nomura has an ending in mind for the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is, even if he does retire before the series is finished, it seems like he has the story in mind. He has it outlined and planned out so that he could pass it on to whoever he deems can responsibly handle the task. Now, again, me personally, I would hope Nomura sees it through to the end. I really, really
me too.
At the end of the day,
it's his baby.
Don't have Kingdom Hearts without Nomura.
Yeah, you don't.
Nomura is a crucial part to the DNA of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
If Kingdom Hearts was a cell, Tetsuya Nomura is its nucleus. So, again, I personally think that this is a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, Nomura is one of my favorite developers in video game history. So it would be sad to see him go.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm happy that he has a plan in place specifically for this IP so that it can land on its feet in its conclusion. I think that's nothing but good news. Also, should Nomura retire?
I think so. I 100% agree with him. Even like I said before, like if the ending was KH4 and everything draws to a real conclusion, like a real conclusion, and things are kind of wrapped up nicely, and there are no more like loose ends, that kind of thing, I would not be mad at that. And just like he said, like when things that kind of just go on forever and ever, like the quality just goes down. Things just kind of deteriorate. My one example that I can give off the top of my head is Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online to me, should have just ended with season 1, period. It should have just ended. If you haven't seen Sword Art Online, please watch season 1 of Sword Art Online. You don't have to watch anything else other than that. But like that, after they kept trying to like add on to that story, like I wouldn't say necessarily the quality, but the draw to that series just kept going down, and it just kept becoming less and less. It started becoming less and less attractive, and it didn't pull me in anymore. And from what I see, the general consensus of that is the same for Sword Art Online for most of the community. And I don't want to see that happen to Kingdom Hearts. I feel like we are already in danger of that happening because it's been going on for so long, for so many years, where people are starting to become disinterested in the franchise already. So, and I hope that we can actually see a real conclusion. I personally think I would like to see it sooner rather than later. But that's just me.
Before the Kingdom Hearts series concludes, I'm certain Square Enix Disney will bring him on board in a consulting role just to make sure things are running smoothly.
And that's kind of what I'm sorry I keep pausing it, but that's kind of what I was saying. Like, I think he will kind of go in that route, consulting, overseeing, supervising, that kind of thing. Much more hands off, but still involved in a way where he can still kind of put his stamp on things and can still like use his creative mind. As a creative person, you just like, you don't stop being creative just because you stop doing the job. Like you kind of need that outlet, speaking from experience.
I would much prefer Nomura sees this series through to the end and then retires when it finishes. I think that might be a great way to go out with a bang, because I fear what this series would become without him. I really do.
Yeah, same.
I really do fear what this series would become without Tetsuya Nomura at the reins. So personally, I want this series to end with Nomura. When Nomura is done with the series should be done. I think if you wanted to keep it going at Disney and Square Enix, you'd have to tell an entirely new story set in an entirely new world with entirely new characters.
Yeah.
Because I personally think Nomura's legacy should be left alone when he retires and this series concludes, at least the series in his image concludes. And again, while hearing Nomura having retirement in mind isn't good news per se, the fact that he has a plan for Kingdom Hearts and that we are moving towards a conclusion for fans like myself, I think is good news. Because when it's all said and done, the Dark Seeker saga, the Lost Masters arc, and whatever comes after it is going to be more than enough games to keep us satisfied for a lifetime. I mean, we're still going back and playing the old games. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 1 right now. But anyway, that's pretty much all I'm going to have for you guys today. I will say, one thing I want is for Nomura to get one main Final Fantasy title before his retirement. Seems like he's got Kingdom Hearts under wraps. They're going to let him do his thing. But I think it would be a damn shame if Tetsuya Nomura in his career doesn't get to direct a mainline Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's where my pain comes in. I'm relieved to hear he's got a plan for Kingdom Hearts, but I would hope Square Enix gives him his due and lets him have one last hurrah directing or running the show for a mainline Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
But again, as far as
I would
Kingdom
love
Hearts
to see
is
that.
concerned, again, sucks to hear that he wants to retire within the next few years. Could be 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, who knows? But I take a lot of solace in knowing that he has a plan for the Kingdom Hearts story, has a plan for the Kingdom Hearts series, and that we are working towards a conclusion. I think things that end are better than things that continually go on. For instance, I've been a Dragon Ball fan my whole life. I've watched every episode of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. We're talking about hundreds of episodes.
Yeah.
But my favorite anime of all time is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it was a concrete story with a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
And getting to an ending and being left wanting more, that is a good thing.
That's true too.
Let me know what you all think about this. Do you share in my sentiments about Nomura, his retirement, the Kingdom Hearts series, him getting his Final Fantasy title? You guys let me know what you think. Obviously, there's a lot to discuss here. We're going to go live breaking down this interview in full. We have a lot of Kingdom Hearts stuff from this interview to discuss. We have a lot of Final Fantasy stuff from this interview to discuss. So definitely stay tuned for that on the channel. Thank you all for tuning in. You all be good out there. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And I will see all of you beautiful sickos and normies next time.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, he's gonna retire at some point, and I think that time we all kind of saw it coming, and this isn't really that big of a surprise. At least not to me. This is something, like I said, has been in conversation recently. And there goes my name. I forgot I was in here. Wait, you can't see it. Hold on. I forgot that I was even a member of the channel. I really, really like Landy's videos. If you're not subscribed to him, you should check him out for sure. But yeah, like I said, not really that big of a surprise. It's been 20 years. And I agree, man. Like, I hope that Nomura gets his Final Fantasy. He got robbed from 15. He got robbed with 15. He got robbed from Versus 13. And they've got him doing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay, that's cool and all. But that's a story that was already written, you know. So, like, I would love to see him do a mainline Final Fantasy from scratch, have his own thing. and have him see it to completion. I would love that for him. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. I will probably end up doing some more coverage on this when it comes to the interview, and I have been wanting to put out some content as far as Missing Link and KH4, what I'm looking forward to, those kinds of things. This being my first video, thank you so much for watching. I made this my first video because I refuse to miss out on the on the excitement for Missing Link and Kingdom Hearts 4 like I missed out on Kingdom Hearts 3. I really wanted to be involved in that conversation in Kingdom Hearts 3. So I just refused to miss it this time. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.